Question about the Hamam scene. It is a very hot scene. You all are looking gorgeous, and just watching it as a viewer, and I could see people whistling while you all are beating up each other. What was the brief of that scene? You all have to look very hot also, and you all have to beat the hell out of each other.
No, that's never the brief.
Okay.
I was actually talking about it yesterday with Vicky, and he's like, he was explaining to someone, one of our friends, like when Tiger comes, it's a different mode. Like I see a different person. When I step into that world, it's another zone. With the Hamam scene, I think it was Adi who had conceptualized that fight.
Wow.
It seemed like something which is going to be so novel and something which was unique. And it was a challenge for all of us also to get it right? Because you got to shoot it in the right way. It's got to look real, it's got to look intense, but it's also got to look aesthetic. And like you want to see the fight.
The Tiger franchise is about you and Salman. You all are the lead pair of that. Do you see any change in him on a set?
I've seen an evolution in him. I admire and respect so much in Salman is his foundation. He holds his ground. He can hold his own through the good times, through the bad times, and that I think takes a lot of inner strength. And that's something that I've seen over the years.
How would you describe this phase of your life?
Interesting. I think that's the way I describe it, because trying to see, okay, what is it that is really giving me joy at this moment? In work. What is the kind of work that is really making me feel connected and is making me feel hungry?
Katrina, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
I've had some of the nicest interviews with you, and I'm hoping this one too is going to be exactly like that.
Lovely to see you again.
Right. Big congratulations. Tiger 3 is a hit. The numbers it's reaching, I'm even scared to say a number today. I'll say something. By the time this interview goes, you'll be another many crores ahead. So big congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Because it's a franchise that has its set of audience, you have your set of audience, Salman has his set of audience. You all were expecting this, and there was no point, at no point there was like, oh, will it do well kind of a thing?
No, I think there's always nerves when it comes to a film's release. With every film, it's like an exam.
Really?
For me, it is at least. It is very, very nerve-wracking because there's so much hard work and love and effort that's gone into a film, and also this is our job, right? Like this is our life. Our films are our world, and especially with the Tiger franchise, for me, and I know for Salman and all of us, it's so close to our hearts, and it's such a loved. They're such loved characters to us, and I think all of the films have really been special to us, and with every film, our desire is always to just be a little better from the last film, and take the story forward in a way which is new and exciting for the audiences.
And you have a really good role here. I mean, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do feel very nice when a filmmaker gives everybody equal importance. Everybody has a substantial role, and it's not an appearance. Manish has never directed an action film. Were you all confident from day one that this is something else he's trying to pull off? Will he be able to?
Well, I think Adi has always a very strong vision. Adi as a producer, in all the years I've worked with him, you have that trust in him because you know how passionate he is about the story and about his work. His work is his work is worship. His work is life, and you see that in everything he does. So when he collaborates with a director for a franchise, you know that he's coming from a place. You know he's thought it through, and you know there's a reason for it.
Right.
And I think what Manish brought to this particular Tiger is like you said, it was a very new lens where everyone's characters were very were thought through and seen in a different way.
Yeah.
The way Manish sees films and the way he sees life.
Right.
And the way he sees stories are very different. He has a unique take on it. And I think it was that lens which gave it a slightly different perspective than perhaps any of the other films so far.
Right, and that's good for the franchise, right? Someone comes and twists it a little bit.
It's really interesting for me to see. For me, that's always a really exciting thing. Is every time we are on set for Tiger, It's always exciting for me, okay, who's the director? See, in Ek Tha
Yeah.
Tiger, it was Kabir Khan, who at that time was, I mean, even now, sorry, but who was one of my closest friends.
Right,
And we were just coming off doing a lot of films together. We had just done an amazing film together in New York. And we had an incredible rapport, you know?
Okay.
So that whole experience was like once in a lifetime
Right.
for all of us. It was so funny because all of us on that film were such good friends, you know,
Yeah,
like from the assistant director to the 80s. And that was a really special bond
Right.
with everyone, with the whole crew. Then with Tigers in the Hair, which happened a few years later, again, Ali Abbas Zafar, who again is one of my dearest friends. So the collaborations have been with directors and friends who I know really, really well.
Right.
And I think that's something which is really, really priceless in a way, because they know you, so they kind of know how to mold and present you in a way.
True. Yeah.
Of course, with Manish, who now is a dear friend of mine, but when I started the film, he was, you know, we didn't know each other.
Right.
I think with him, what is the most beautiful thing is his passion for each character, for the uniqueness of each character. Like I remember constantly discussing with him, and us having so many discussions, that he always felt and gave so much importance, felt so much interest and gave so much importance to Zoya's character.
Yeah.
Like he really wanted to know what was the backstory of Zoya's character, where did she come from, what drives her, what is the experiences she must have gone through in life which have led her to become the woman she is today, the agent she is today.
You think, you know, what the importance they gave Zoya's character is incredible. This is priority for you as well? Is it priority for you as well, that tell me she has a substantial role, then I'm on board?
You know, when it comes to a film like this and with Adi, our relationship is such that of course we discuss and we look at the script and I respond to the script, but Adi's going to only offer me something which is strong.
You have that trust.
which we have that understanding. Of course, you may like it, you may not like it. You may do some of the roles, some you may not do. But in the Tiger franchise, I think Zoya's character is built in such a way that inherently is going to be there. You know, and there's so many. What's so wonderful about this world is, and this franchise, is you can really take it to so many different places. You can take it really anywhere almost, you know. You have two characters who are agents. There's trouble all over the world. There's always trouble. And that just lends itself to so many new exciting stories and spins.
Right, you know, this is like a Bond movie by itself, where you can take it all over the world and it keeps coming back.
Exactly.
You know, your fight scene has gone viral, obviously. And tell me, what was it like to shoot the Hamam scene? Because that is a clip we've seen everywhere, the pictures are everywhere. How tough is it also?
It's tough, but you know, when you're getting into an action film, you got to come in prepared. You got to come in ready to deliver and to do the work. And so when it's Tiger time, that mode goes on. That's a different mode. You know, I was actually talking about it yesterday with Vicky, and he's like, he was explaining to someone, one of our friends, like when Tiger comes, it's a different mode. Like I see a different person, because you have to get into that kind of. You got to get into that space which is full of adrenaline and full of energy, and that's a world that when I step into that world, it's another zone.
You know, so I have one more question about the Hamam scene. It is a very hot scene. You all are looking gorgeous, and just watching it as a viewer, and I could see people whistling while you all are beating up each other. What was the brief of that scene? You all have to look very hot also, and you all have to beat the hell out of each other.
No, that's never the brief. I think the director has that trust in me that, you know, first we're out there to make the scene look real. And I think with Tiger, the action has always been a little more hand to hand, almost, you can say. There's a lot of combat. It's you kind of get involved in the fights. You're physical in them. And with the Hamam scene, I think it was Adi who had conceptualized that fight. It seemed like something which is going to be so novel and something which was unique. And it was a challenge for all of us also to get it right? Because you got to shoot it in the right way. It's got to look real. It's got to look intense, but it's also got to look aesthetic. And you know, like you want to see the fight. And it was a lot of fun because you can see, like if you watch the sequence, you can see like that it's, they're showing like the aggression in the fight. It's not just all, dancing around each other. There's aggression in the fight.
Right.
But for me, that's how action should be. I think the kind of action films or action roles which I've really loved amongst women is Charlize Theron's. She's done some incredible action films.
Yeah.
Halle Berry, and what she's done in the John Wick series.
Yes.
Like when you see these women do action, you don't doubt it for a second.
Absolutely. Terrific.
It's like it's fierce, and that's what I think. I'm really happy that we're moving in that direction, I'm hoping to see more of that.
Absolutely, very proud to see you do all that.
Thank you.
I was sitting right here before the release with Vaibhavi Merchant, and she explained your process of working. She spoke about how hard you work. She said, "मुझे बोलना पता है, Katrina, अब घर जा, हो गया." Yesterday I was watching Coffee with Karan, and Alia spoke about your hard work, and she mentioned it. This is something that you have it in you, and it's always been there, because a scene like that will need a lot of hard work.
Yep.
You will give it all your...
I think I've always been that way, though.
Okay.
I think it's just my nature, and it's worked for me, and it's bode me well at many times in my life. But also, at sometimes, like you say, you need to know where to let things go.
Right.
When to let things go. Like sometimes I'll be rehearsing in the hall, and it will be like hours, and I know I haven't quite got it right, but I have to tell myself, like, let it go. You're tired, your body's tired, you've done enough for today, walk out, So to learn the balance, for me, that has actually been where some people need to do the other way. Some people are more naturally, they have a relaxed disposition. They need to push themselves to work hard on something.
Right.
I think for me, the balance has been on this side, that I need to always remember the balance between working hard, pushing yourself, but also giving that breathing time in between, giving time to rest, time to just leave it and come back to something with a fresh mind.
Right.
So that's kind of how I think I've always been as a professional in my work. I think that's how I am.
This has come with experience, or were you like that if I take you back in your earlier movies?
No, I think I've always been like that.
Okay.
I've always been like that.
Okay.
I think what comes later on is, of course, you've seen the result of hard work, and that drives you even to put in more hard work, which again is where you tell yourself, okay, listen, it's 4 hours that we're rehearsing, and then we go home. Like you set the kind of boundaries or the schedule for yourself, so okay, that listen, don't overdo it. But I enjoy it as well. I think for me, dance and action are both physical. It's both very physical, and it's both something you have to be completely present in the moment.
Okay.
If you lose your focus or start thinking somewhere else, or your mind goes somewhere else for even a minute, you're out of the sequence. You can tell in a second. It doesn't work.
Right.
Nothing in the shot works.
Right.
So I think what I really enjoy is doing action and dance, because it forces you to be in the present moment so much and holds you there.
This will be your mantra, hard work, because anyone also watching this interview, it will really help them. That is your go-to mantra. There's nothing else that comes to hard work.
I think there's many other things actually. It's just, I think it's a commonly discussed term with me. But actually, there's many other things that you need. There's hard work and discipline, and I think that's one small part of it. Having a vision, having a goal, being able to visualize the outcome that you're trying to achieve of anything you're trying to do. Sitting in stillness, being quiet with yourself also, that is a place where I think a lot of true creation comes from.
Wow. It
doesn't just come from the noise and the effort.
You get to do that.
I think we all can do it if we
want to.
If we really carve out that time. It's not easy.
Right, it's not easy, right?
Because all of our lives are so hectic. But wake up a few hours early
and do it.
Try to get that space when you can, and it doesn't have to be every day. But I find that if there's an obstacle that I'm facing, or a hurdle in my work, and I'm not being able to find a way around it, that's something I think I've started doing in the more recent past is learning to leave it, sit with yourself,
Right.
find that space of stillness and quiet, and that's where, honestly, without the thoughts, that's where you can really find, I think, find something original and be able to create from that space. See, the world around us right now, there's so much
Noise.
constant stimulation,
Yeah.
constant stimulation and information. You know, it's coming at you, and now it's available even closer to home, right? It's right there in the palm of your hand, or next to you if you're in the car. So we don't, I think, without realizing it, our minds are so full of something at all given time, or any given time.
That's so good to know. That's really good to know, because that you very well explained. Coming to your successes, you've had a string of super hit movies, and you've been a part of the biggest movies that are made in the country. This keeps you at the top of the game. Does this cross your mind, and is this a stress that have to be in this top league, which you are?
It was just the other day actually that I think Katrina had given an interview somewhere. And I read it, and I actually saw something so beautiful that she said, and I really admired her approach, where she just kind of said that, I know what are the things that are important to me in my life right now, and I have taken myself out of that pressure. I have taken that pressure off myself. Did you read it also?
Yeah.
And I'm an actor. I love what I do, and I think you can really see that. Like you see the ease when she's on screen. But I've taken off the pressure of how people expect me to look, how I expect myself to look, or where am I fitting in this so-called scheme of things, in this positioning race, or this positioning numbers.
Right.
And I think that's a very good way of explaining what I think is what I feel as well.
Right. You and Katrina are seasoned actors. You all have done many films. But a younger actor who may have just started a couple of years ago will think differently.
Of course.
Should,
but even I thought differently.
Okay.
And this is now a good few years on in my career.
Right.
And you have to grow and evolve with age, right? You
right.
have to grow and evolve with time. If I am not the same person that I entered this industry as. I entered this industry when I was 19. You are going to grow and evolve. That's my desire. That's my ambition, right? To be able to express, and for everything that I'm meant to be to kind of play out in my life. It should not be just you on repeat.
Right. True.
And that's the beauty, I think, of where I am today.
Right.
Is that, yes, of course, we will all be hit with insecurities. We will all be hit with comparisons. We can always be looking over our shoulders saying, oh my God, so-and-so has this film. So-and-so's doing, has done this amazing, incredible role, has seen this incredible success. And I always try and pause when that happens to me, or when that thought comes to me, which it does. And I first stop and think of how grateful I am for everything that I have accomplished, firstly. Because it's not every day that you get to say a lot of what my dreams were. I've been able to live that.
Come true.
So I try and pause and say, 1 second, it's good that we're hardworking, and it's good to be, driven and motivated and be pushed by competition. But let me just pause, remember everything that I've been given, and that has, I think, that I've earned, but that has also been given to me, that I've been blessed with. And then after that I say, okay, you know what? Any success is all of our success. And I take a moment and I feel happy for whoever's success that is.
Right. So, if I ask you, you have evolved, and I can also make out sitting with you and chatting with you. If there's one change that surprised you as well about yourself, what would that be?
I think that would be hard for me. Okay, no, I can.
Okay.
Getting up early.
Oh, wow.
It used to be really tough for me to get up early in the mornings, and I used to always think, oh my God, who are these people who wake up at like 6:30 in the morning, and like, oh no. And that's something I started recently, and something I've really started enjoying.
Well done.
Because it's quiet and it's silent in the mornings, and there's no, pings on your phone, and every 5 minutes there's another message, and it's like a peaceful time.
Please give me some tips. Never been able to do that.
I'll give you the tip. You want to know the
Right,
tip?
yes.
You have to go to bed by 9:30.
Right.
And that's the tough part.
That's the tough part.
Getting up's not the hard
Yeah,
part.
yeah. Okay. You know, the Tiger franchise is about you and Salman. You all are the lead pair of that. Do you see any change in him on a set when you see?
I was just talking about this yesterday, that what it's been, Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya, which was our first
Yes.
film, was it 2004?
2004?
Yeah? So that's like what, almost 19 years?
Yeah.
You do see, I've seen an evolution in him.
Okay,
I have seen an
that's
evolution.
nice.
It's a subtle evolution, but more than an evolution with Salman, what I think is just so, that I admire and respect so much in Salman is his grit, his foundation, you know? He holds his ground. He can hold his own through the good times, through the bad times, through the storms, through the rain, through the sunshine, through the praise. And you can see that he holds his ground.
Right.
And that, I think, takes a lot of inner strength.
Right.
And that's something that I've seen over the years. And it's an amazing quality to have, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
And when he is on set, in capacity of, like, say, working on a scene, you know, a lot of people can think that, okay, he's not conversing, so is he doing something? Is he not doing something?
Yeah.
But he's always thinking.
Okay.
And you always know when he's thinking when he's chewing the collar of his shirt. He's got it, you know, you must have seen him sitting there.
Yeah.
He's sitting and he's chewing, and that means he's thinking.
Right.
And his way of going over the scene is he just plays it over in his mind, and he'll come up with these thoughts, and you'll be like, oh, I never saw it that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
The other person, funny enough to do that also, is who sees things in a very different way is, we'll get to that conversation later. Don't worry.
I'll come back.
That's
to
a whole
that.
nother topic.
Okay, but I don't have much time. I just have two more questions.
Yep.
One is, are you someone who tracks box office? You would like to know how much the film is made? Will you track and...
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. I always like to be informed.
Okay.
I have either the producer or the production who I'll be in touch with around the release time, or then there's some other wonderful friends who I've made over the years who are in the trade. And I like to be informed because I think it's feedback, right? It's feedback for us. General audience feedback, what is called word of mouth, what are the numbers, where it's performing, you know, who it's connecting with. I like to know this because I think it's these are good learnings.
You are looking good, which you always have, but you know, you're looking happy and you're looking content. You're doing great work. How would you describe this phase of your life?
Interesting. I think that's the way I describe it, because there's on one side, I think, as you rightly pointed out, I am content and at peace.
Yeah, that's nice.
In a lot of ways.
Right.
And then there's another side of me who I think is constantly, my mind works a lot. My mind is constantly thinking, it's constantly churning and, you know, analyzing and observing situations around me. And I see it there in a lot of ways that I feel that I'm also on maybe a cusp where things, where it's going to be another step in me changing in some way, or maybe part of, you know, your evolution as you grow. And I can see like there's going to be some changes. I don't know what they are yet, but it's just a time of, I think, introspection a lot.
Right.
Thinking, observing around me, and really trying to see, okay, what is it that is really giving me joy at this moment?
Okay.
You know, in work. What is it, what is the kind of work that is really making me feel connected and is making me feel hungry, and really understanding that and then making choices.
Nice. Well done. Very, very proud of you. And
Thank you.
the way you did action and the way you did this movie, it was absolutely incredible. Your fans will love this. Like I said at the start, all interesting interviews. We continue to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And nice to see you again.